Hey Sash, look how sexy I am with my little suit.
Oh my god, you're so silly. So today's the big day. Guess who's being inducted into the International Video Game Hall of Fame? Look at him, he over here being a diva.
Oh, you talking about the new one? Oh, no, today.
Got Trap Lord. Got Jerron Saffron in the back. Got my boo thing with the shades. Hey, boo thing. Hey.
Are they individual or is what I think?
We got boo thing number 2 over here with the hair. KDZ. Man Ian driving.
Hi.
Today's a big day.
Yeah. It's not a big day, it's the last day. Make a right, Ian.
So Triforce, how do you feel about being inducted into the Video Game Hall of Fame?
Honestly speaking, I feel good. I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel good. But like today is more of a joyous occasion because it's my last day. It's a new beginning for me. I don't have to do this competitive gaming thing anymore. This is the last day. Honestly, I'm so happy. I've been playing video games competitively and professionally. Well, competitively all my life. So that's 36 years. Since I was 4 years old. When I first started playing video games, I always wanted to play to like master the games. I started playing professionally in terms of pushing the esports agenda, managing, competing in video game tournaments, both classic and modern, since 2002. I retired in 2015, and now, for the first time ever in my life, I can revert to just relaxing and playing video games. No more do I have to prove I'm the best. I don't have to show anyone any world record secrets. I don't have to prove any blah, blah, blah. There it is. So nobody's here. Good. Okay, so now we can just head to the venue. I just wanted to make sure no one was coming here while we were going there. But yeah, so I'm just happy about that. I'm going to focus on now on the next game. And the next game is the suit game. So for those out there that don't know about what you mean by the suit game, what do you mean by that? The suit game is gamers, the little man. The guys who don't know anything about the industry, the guys who play for the fun and the entertainment, the culture of it, they support their communities, but they want to also have an opportunity to be a part of the now fully created esports industry, because it's been revolutionized. I want to be able to create a platform for them to be able to be educated, informed, and then given an opportunity to participate, in which the new industrial esports machine is taking away those platforms and those opportunities. Not because they want to do it purposely, although some of it is, but because as anything is being industrialized, the public loses its opportunities, and whoever creates the infrastructure has to create a platform, or there's no way to get into it. And soon gamers will not be able to just like go to tournaments and just say, hey, I'm a little aspiring guy, I want to play and get good at just, nah, soon you'll have to go through agents, you'll have to go through teams, managers, and all this other stuff. And the way I see esports, because I come from the era in which it was originally made, a team manager, organization to help develop you in esports should be optional, not mandatory. And the way the scene is going, it's going to be mandatory. That means so many players will lose out. And me, honestly, I'm not with it. So now that's going to be my game. I'm going to be the suit and tie for the gamer. The gamer that came up, competitively played. I've been around the champions, and I'm talking about world champions. You know, the Sanford Kellys and the Justin Wongs and the KDZs and the Ricky Ortiz and the Mewtwo Kings and the Armadas and the Terrors and the J-Ribs and the Rod Nuts and the Denkais and so many fatalities and Billy Mitchells and the Todd Rogers, both ages. And now I'm old enough to get into a suit now, and I'm going to champion the cause for them on that, play that game, and try to win that game. So that's the next level.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks?
Any closing remarks? Vegeta's the best.
Cut that. Not working.
Oh, it's me. Oh, hey.
Philadelphia
Who are these?
These are the EMP cards, guys.
Let's just take a second. Okay. Shh. Triforce.
Spoiler alert.
Triforce, bring your entire group up here.
Oh, really?
Yes, the entire group. All
I'm live streaming, so you just
all 200 of them. No, that's gonna, Billy says it's gonna empty out the audience. So all you guys get up here. You all have to get up here.
Somebody hold this. Just hold it.
Okay, what he's looking for is he'll find it, the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer. The front page of the Sunday Philadelphia Inquirer for November 21st, 1982. In other words, 10 days from today, it'll be 35 years ago, that one night someone knocked on the door of Twin Galaxies Arcade at like 11:30 at night, and it was a reporter from the Philadelphia Inquirer. He had been sent here to Ottumwa. Now this is like a week or two before Jerry even proclaimed us the video game capital of the world. A reporter from the Sunday Philadelphia Inquirer knocked on the door. I went and opened it up because I was working late, and he had been sent there by his editor back in Philadelphia to come to Ottumwa to find out why Ottumwa was the crossroads of the video game world, why it was viewed as the Mecca amongst video game players everywhere. So he came to do the story. So he interviewed me, he did the story, and it ended up being a front page headline story on the front page of the Sunday Philadelphia Inquirer. And the story he got out of it was that Ottumwa was the crossroads. And that's why all these gentlemen are here, because they know their history. They're at the crossroads. This is the Mecca. This is the spiritual and like historical crossroads of organized competitive video game playing. That's why they're here. To not only recognize the history, but to become a part of the history, because everybody knows that history goes in cycles. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the Empire Arcadia team, based from all different locations all over North America, and including Triforce from Jamaica. And Triforce, why don't you be the spokesperson, come and say something. I'll be handing out the awards.
Thank you, Walter, and thank you everybody in Ottumwa. So, 36 years ago, for Twin Galaxies, Walter inspired gamers around the world and gamers also here in Ottumwa to play video games at a competitive level and master them to the point where it was a sport. And when he built that infrastructure to make, Twin Galaxies the vehicle to turn competitive video games into a sport, it inspired yet another next generation afterwards. So just as Walter inspired those and helped foster guys such as hometown heroes like Tim McVeigh in the back, other guys like Dennis, Mark Hoff, Bill Hoffman, and many other Ottumwa's locals and people from outside, from the Ben Goals and Steve Sanders and Billy Mitchell and so forth. That generation then inspired me, and that helped me form my team in 2000, Empire Arcadia. And just as Walter has done for those guys, now I do for this generation. And after them, they will inspire another generation and another. And the entire point of this is to understand where the origins of esports comes from. Not the one that's really popped up just recently commercially. We appreciate the, evolution of, what this gentleman here, Walter Day, laid down. But we want to talk about the actual origin. And Ottumwa, Iowa is the video game capital of the world. And this generation, this esports team is going to do everything it can in its power to at least preserve that history and move it forward. Thank you guys for having us in Ottumwa. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And they traveled at great expense to come here from all sorts of different places. What did you say? Oh. No. Everybody's walking.
Senator Sam.
Doesn't it look great like a senator or something?
Hello, good afternoon everyone, or good evening. Thanks, Billy. So as we're all here today, video gaming is a thriving culture in the 21st century. And a lot of us understand, I mean, even as kids growing up, I played the Game Boy Advance, but a lot of us understand, like, beyond the flashing lights, you know, beyond the high scores, there's an intrinsic and fundamental value that we all share, and it comes from the communities we build and the experiences we get to have. And I mean, me personally, being here with Empire Arcadia, it's been a dream. It's been a blast. I'd like to give another round of applause to Empire Arcadia for being here. We come from all places, sorts of the world. Can we give each other a big round of applause? And you know, there are some members from Empire Arcadia that aren't here today. And just like there are gamers around the world who aren't here today. But my quick, response to them is to keep playing, to keep loving, and doing the things that you love. That's why we're here today. Thank you.
There are different halls of fame out there right now that are trying to focus on the video game and esports industry. But the one that's special, the thing that this Hall of Fame is most special about is that not only did it be the first Hall of Fame to originate the idea of honoring the video game players, because Billy and I had the experience for years that when we'd be involved with the industry, it's all about the designers and the games and the manufacturers. And no one was interested in the gamers, the players. And so the Hall of Fame, the International Video Game Hall of Fame specifically, especially with that first year, we inducted a lot of people who are actually high score champions and legendary gamers, because we wanted the Hall of Fame to be about gamers. And that is a growing tradition, and that's why we have these different categories of 1990s gamer, 2000 gamers, and we are proud to tell you that Isaiah Triforce Johnson was selected by the voters for the International Video Game Hall of Fame class of 2016, 2000 esports competitor, which essentially is like the year 2000 to 2010. Triforce, could you please come up here?
So much of what Triforce did is unique. It's unique, or he was the first one to do it. When I heard of Empire Arcadia, it was the first time I had learned people gather like that. They usually have a house, like a palace, and they're in there playing hardcore gaming. And I thought, ooh, those guys are beyond the pale. But the fact of the matter is, I watched and I saw where it led. Again, he was the founder of the esports team. Again, the world record of 2,000 team victories for the Empire. Okay, he retired as a pro gamer. He put gaming or competitive gaming behind him as a player in order to push the industry, push the hobby, push it in the right direction, and very much preserve the history of it as well. More than anybody, probably more than me or Walter, he's really dedicated to history and history being preserved. Anyway, he was always known. People in New York knew him. When Nintendo was releasing a game, and it was going to be released on Friday, you could almost go there on Monday, 5 days before, and he's the guy sleeping outside with a sleeping bag. He was going to get the very first copy. I'm exaggerating a little, but only a little. They also knew him as the guy with the power glove. And the fact of the matter is, he has 30 world records on the Twin Galaxies scoreboard, 8 Guinness World Records in gaming, and he continues esports, not just here, but all over the world. It is not total. There's some other people that are going to be sympathetic to me when he's called and he's had a problem and he needs a little help. Sure, where are you? I'm in France. I'm in Guyana. Can you help me? No, I can't help you. Give me a break. I mean, if you're in Miami, I can help you. But again, it just shows you how hard he works and the people who work with him. who don't get any credit, the people on his team who don't get any credit, he takes all the credit. And the fact of the matter is, he does do an awful lot. He reaches out. There's nothing that intimidates him more than anybody, including me. You don't even count. More than anybody, including me, he advocates for the importance, the right, and the position that players have in the industry. He lobbies hard, companies, organizations, that the players that they want to bring in order to push or promote a convention, those players have to be appreciated, they have to be paid, they have expenses. He does that more than anybody, including me. He really holds their feet to the fire. He's an advocate for everybody in this room and everything that we all stand for. So, I always pick on him and tell him the picture I like best is the one in the bottom in the middle because I can't see his face. But that's just friends joking. Anyway, again, Triforce, Isaiah Triforce Johnson. And as I sit here, I really appreciate him and I hope you do too.
Just one interesting little thing I want to add is that almost more than anybody, Triforce recognized immediately the incredible spirit of Ottumwa being the video game capital of the world and the birthplace of organized competitive esports. And he's almost the biggest promoter of Ottumwa being, you know, the video game capital of the world and the birthplace of organized esports. So it's incredible that we have a friend and supporter in Triforce Johnson as we induct him into the International Video Game Hall of Fame class of 2016, 2000 esports competitor.
Thank you, everybody. This is a long time coming. I didn't write a speech. I'm actually here to talk to everybody. And the first thing I want to do is give thanks. It is always right to give thanks and praise. I'm not a religious guy, but nothing can be done without God. So we thank God first. The second person I would like to thank is my mother, who has passed away in 2012. I was in LA with Walter, receiving an award from Nintendo for being the person who stood the line for the most Nintendo launches. And my phone was ringing while I was actually receiving the award, and this is actually on YouTube. And Walter, a representative of Guinness, and the president of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aimé, was honoring me with that award from Guinness. After the award, I found out it was my brother calling me. And so I went back to my hotel room, and as I was being awarded by Nintendo and Walter and Reggie, I received news that my mother passed away. So as something good happens, something's bad. What's that line? As the pendulum swings in favor of one, it swings back in favor of its opposite. My family, my entire lineage comes from a, very humble means and backgrounds. We are from Jamaica originally. We are from Africa. That is where our descent is, and I always remind people that I am African, from a family in Jamaica, but raised in the United States of America. And despite America's problems here and there, it's still the greatest country on earth. With that said, I would like to move forward with that, and I would like to thank the rest of my family. My father, who is in New York with muscular dystrophy, so he's almost immobile. My aunt, who told me that my mother's last words was that she was proud that I was in the Guinness Book of World Records, and that she would want me to one day come back home to Jamaica and represent Jamaica, in which I did. So in 2012, I went back to Jamaica. I brought my team there to help bring Jamaica up in esports. You know, help them solidify their space in esports because they had a community, just like you guys, that played video games, but no platform to push it. And I went there, and it was in Jamaica that I won my 2000th tournament for my team, which then got our team recognized in the Guinness Book of World Records as the most documented tournament-winning video game team on planet Earth. I also made my mother proud by getting 8 Guinness World Records, 30 Twin Galaxies World Records, and hundreds of tournaments, you know, over 100 plus tournaments that I've won. I bring this up because it's not about me tooting my own horn and what I've done, but to show the dedication that I have for the people that I love and those around me. So that's my family out of the way. The next set of people I want to thank is my other family, Empire Arcadia. I could not be here. It is impossible, literally impossible, for me to be here if not for the first 2 dynasties that helped me get to this position. I would not have had the platform to be recognized, much like Walter. It took Billy, it took the whole Life magazine crew of gamers and all the supporters in Ottumwa, the people from the Ottumwa committee who grew up and helped him build his arcade, for Walter to be able to get his vision realized to today. So I want to give a special thanks to my entire team, members of Empire Arcadia, both now and former, for helping me to reach the levels that I've reached with my team and to get me to this point. Now that I'm at this point, I've retired from competitive gaming. I now can play video games freely, just for fun, no more competitions. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And this ends this chapter of my life. With that said, let me go into the final segments of this. I'm done here with competitive gaming in terms of playing it to prove anything. But a new game starts for me. And after this Hall of Fame, I now don this suit. The gamers need someone to represent them in this multi-billion-dollar industry that naturally builds a machine that takes advantage of gamers worldwide, because they will not create a platform for gamers to be able to get their shot at stardom and greatness. They will not help the people who put down the infrastructure, the mud, the wood, the bricks, the cornerstones. Like Walter, they're going to forget you because it's a machine. But this industry, none of the video game companies, none of the video game esports industries could be anything without us, the gamers. It is impossible. We're the ones who buy the games, we're the ones who play the games, we're the ones who promote the games, we're the ones who add the context to the content. So without us, there won't be any industry. And my job now, at this point, is to make sure that I represent the history, which is Ottumwa, Iowa, the actual one and true only video game capital of the world, undisputed, and to bring the outside world in and to raise Ottumwa up as the Mecca, the Madison Square Garden. You guys need a dome by the Bridgeview Center the next 2 or 3 years. I'm serious, I'm gonna work on that. And bring the world here so that they can meet, this is for us younger generations, the elder gods. That's what we call them, guys like Walter. Because these guys are the first gods. You see, we have a god down here and we have an injustice god over there. And but like Walter and Billy, these are the elder gods. So my job is to actually bring the world so that they become educated about these guys and help make Ottumwa great again. And with that, I want to thank everybody for supporting Ottumwa, Iowa, and giving me this great honor of being put into the International Video Game Hall of Fame. Finally, yes,
One more. There's an ending to this. I would like to give my greatest thanks to the elder God himself, Walter Day. Small story. My team could have not been made if not for what you guys did 36 years ago. It is 36 years ago, right? 36. I caught that later end of That's Incredible when Ben Gold came racing through the tape. Yeah. And he won the championship. Guys like Steve Harris, who wrote EGM, would tell tales in the early editions of EGM about all the greatness of these championship gamers. The Nintendo World Championships held in Florida at the Epcot Center. And I was like, man. Yeah, Billy tells me real stories. So I was like, I want to grow up one day and be like these guys, and I want to be great at video games. And that stuck with me. I wrote an article about Walter in 2001 and posted it on my website in 2002 as the pioneers of esports, which Walter read, and I didn't know until I met him in 2008. He was like, "You're Triforce Johnson," and I'm like, "How do you know who I am?" He's like, "You wrote an article about me in 2002 about what we've done in Ottumwa, Iowa." And if not for Walter, if not for Billy, Ben, Todd Walker, Mayor Jerry Parker, Ottumwa, I would have never been inspired to make my team. So it's thanks to you guys Empire Arcadia exists, and thanks to Walter. Thank you very much.